Cuomo has made it clear that the effectiveness of the rollout is dependent on federal funding, although the paper points out that there's more than $7 million earmarked for a vaccination rollout in New York. The city has more than $6 million of its own money to start distributing the vaccines once they're available here.
Now, peep this.
And page 24 has a preview of what is sure to be a big Hanukkah
not
gift this year.
Fuck these niggas.
The 2021 Nice Jewish Guys Wall Calendar. This debuted back in 2009, mainly as a joke at first, but it has since become pretty popular worldwide, in fact. Mr. January says he's addicted to soup. Mr. October brought his parents in for the photo shoot. This calendar's creator says he's not looking for guys with...
And get to the main story.
And also funny. That, and you can bring him...
Next. Okay,
zone and ignoring state-mandated COVID restrictions.
Yeah, this is the main story right here. Now, peep this, right? This is what I want y'all to do the knowledge to. Because, right, you gotta do the knowledge to facial expressions and things of that nature because, you know, these news reporters not allowed to say everything they want to say. So sometimes you got to watch facial expressions, body language, because that's also a language, you know, body language, facial expressions, that's a language, sign language. Silence is also a language. You know what I mean? So I just want y'all to peep the hidden messages in this, you know, little report right here, which happens all day. But I just want to point out this specific thing to you. After this lady gives this report about how she, you know, what's the science about this whole, how they're trying to put restrictions on the businesses and everything, she says it's dictatorship, which it is. And Cuomo is sitting here trying to play this slick sly every time he gets on there, talking with smirks and smiles on his face like he knows he's just spewing any fucking thing to the people and they just gonna gobble it all up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just peep this stuff.
Autonomous zone and ignoring state-mandated COVID restrictions. It was a wild scene there last night. Our quote of the day comes to us from one of the protesters who says, the state and city's COVID restrictions are ruining small businesses.
I think that this governor is using these men to do his dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you, Cuomo? Why don't you come out here and talk to us? Why don't you talk to us? Let us talk to you. I can't wait till this guy is gone.
Facts.
He didn't do anything about the rioting in New York City.
Facts.
He sends sheriffs at a small business to close them down.
Facts.
What's this all about, people? This is not about safety. It is not about concern. It is about dictatorship.
I think Debbie speaks for a lot of people on Staten Island who are really upset about what's happening to the small businesses there, not just that one.
Yeah, I think she speaks for a lot of people in general, actually. But I love that heavy New York accent and that feisty
She
spirit.
does not mince words.
No,
but let's
she did
point
not.
out, as Bob Hart was mentioning earlier, the fact that this is happening is because we are in the midst of a pandemic. Yes. It is a health crisis. Yes. That's why these rules exist. If we can hold on for a vaccine, you know, we're in a better place than we had been. But Debbie certainly speaking strongly.
Womp womp. Now, peep that. The major thing was really that the white girl's last facial expression. You seen her facial, seen how way her eyes looked up like, yeah, fuck out of here with that bullshit. Because she knows that lady, the older lady, who's the oldest fucking devil there, she's the one that's, you know, she has to keep the brainwashing in place, you know what I mean? So she has to keep the programming going on. So, you know, even after that lady spoke her passionate speech, which was all facts, she gonna try to downplay it with reinstilling, well, you know, this is all safety and da-da-da-da-da-da. When the lady clearly pointed out how through actions, not words, actions. You see how Cuomo didn't do anything to shut down the rioting and all of that over the summer and all of that, all of the shit going on, but yet you're gonna send sheriffs to shut down a small business, you know what I'm saying? And we're supposed to be we're supposed to be trying to open things up and keep business going, to keep, you know, the economy going and everything. But you're going to send sheriffs to shut them down. But you didn't send no sheriffs to stop all the fighting and the rioting and all of that going on, and the looting and the burning and all Antifa and all that shit out there. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to run this back one more time like they do with the Hegelian dialectic. And you know that the Hegelian dialectic, what they do with that, it's... See, look at the facial expressions. And then you seen the black lady, too. She was huffing like she wanted to say something like, well, like she wanted to say something, but, you know she had to let the older white lady get the last word with the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because they got to keep the brainwashing, going on. So, so, um, so people, right? We're gonna run it back one more
Thursday
time.
papers. Hundreds of people came out to protest last night in support of a Staten Island bar, Max Public House.
Yeah, the bar had been shut down after declaring in itself an autonomous zone and ignoring state-mandated COVID restrictions. It was a wild scene there last night. Our quote of the day comes to us from one of the protesters who says the state and city's COVID restrictions are ruining small businesses.
Right. And not only the businesses, these people declared the place where they was at an autonomous zone. Autonomous meaning autonomy, meaning self-governed, self-ruled. You know what I'm saying? Meaning they have their own government. In other words, they're declaring some type of sovereignty in that particular area where they at. Just like the Jewish guy did when he was like, this is my city. This is my city too. You know what I'm saying? At first he said my city because, them Jewish niggas really think they run shit. And they was like, nigga, this is my shit. But he had to reconsider the fact that he's also tied in with the city, and all of that too. And he got certain guidelines and all that he got to, abide with or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So he was like, oh, my city too. And then that dude, that Jewish guy who tried to defend his community, because they already know this COVID shit is some bullshit, and they not gonna be walking around with masks and all of that and and keeping their children in fear. You know what I'm saying? They even trying to come down on them. So on some real shit, y'all, right now, man, if you ask me, and I've been hearing this too, but you know what I mean? Like, yo, the Constitution right now is not even in order right now. Like it's like the Constitution is suspended right now. You know what I'm saying? With all of this shit going down, this is a government shutdown. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's doing anything lawfully. Nobody's, doing shit by the Constitution and all of that. Blah blah blah. So shit is just lawless right now. You know what I mean? And we've been saying, you know what I'm saying, they're doing all of this on purpose to cause civil unrest. You know what I'm saying? So if they couldn't get us to do it with the Black Lives Matter / Antifa / LGB riots, so-called masked as a protest, they couldn't do it with that. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously people realize, like, yo, you out there fighting somebody else's war. Go sit your ass down and go home. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to hit us with the second wave of corona shit, you know what I'm saying? Which is a pandemic. They all planning this shit. How the fuck can you predict a second wave of something? But yet, your scientists haven't even discovered exactly what the virus is, where it came from, how we can prevent it. What's the cure? Not the vaccine. What's the cure for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that information. And another thing, too, I pointed out, if you notice how they never been showing anybody's names. Nope, everybody dying from this coronavirus. Not one name has been disclosed to the public of anybody dying from corona. Person died from a heart attack the other day. They gave the person's name, all of that, blah, 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 blah. Had a little sad story and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to all these people dying of corona, how come the news reporters are not in the hospitals, if not outside the hospitals, getting stories from people's families that are like, waiting for their family members outside the hospital or in the hospital? They're not going to them, interviewing them like, hey, how are you doing? How's your family member doing? Dealing with this coronavirus and everything. Oh yeah, my mom, she's had it for like, some time now. We're out here, we're praying for her. We're hoping she gets better and da 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 da. You don't see none of that. No interviews or anything like that. So that just goes to show you, like, come on, this is all fake, man. As if where people could just be dying by the hundreds or by the thousands. No names are being disclosed. No information other than them just saying people died. I mean, this is crazy, man. Like, come on. Where's the information? Where's the general public's, right to know what exactly is going on? You know what I mean? This is just some shit they've just been telling you for months and months and months. People just dying. And ain't no names. Nobody has a name. All these people dying. Nobody has a name. Like, and I'm pretty sure it's been some famous people that have passed away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't hear nothing about that, because I'm pretty sure these people that are famous got money. Their families got money. So they're going to investigate. You know what I'm saying? They're going to look into the murder of because, yeah, that's what it is, a murder of their family and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, Let me go back to this, show you what they saying about this. So now, with this thing right here, with this autonomous zone, so in other words, these people declare sovereignty, and the government is like cracking down on them and saying that, you know what I'm saying? Basically, no, we're gonna regulate shit, and y'all not gonna be autonomous. Don't y'all know we trying to shut down the government and cause a civil war? God damn it! Fuck y'all talk about autonomy. You know what I mean? So this just goes to show you that, you know, and it's that shit young Farrell be talking about the white patriots and all that. These were the white patriots gonna start standing up because this government is coming down on their so-called liberties. The white people that really believe in that whole freedom and all that shit. So yeah, like, you know, now their liberties are being encroached upon. And now they're gonna start standing up. You know what I'm saying? And you see, and the bad part about for black people, we know if they fucking with them, then they definitely gonna fuck with us. So that's why we be like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is really going on?
I think that this governor is using these men to do his dirty work. Where are you, Cuomo? Why don't you come out here and talk to us? Why don't you talk to us and let us talk to you? I can't wait till this guy is gone. He didn't do anything about the rioting in New York City, but he sends sheriffs at a small business to close them down. What is this all about, people? This is not about safety. It is not about concern.
Facts. You see the way she said that? What is this all about, people? This is not about safety. It's not about concern. And like she about to say, it's about dictatorship. And that's exactly what it's really about. And it's rare that they put somebody on the news to say some real shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't really let people say real stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they just want to make somebody to get on there like, well, you know, we're praying and we hope that all this is over soon, and, you know, we're just going to keep praying, and, man, fuck all that, man. These white people out there trying to take, they ready to take action, because when their money is affected, their livelihood is affected. So, you know, they ready to take action. And you don't see them out there holding up crosses, talk about praying in no damn Jesus. They ready to take action. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, shit is really real. And like I say, the only reason when they gonna really stand up is when shit is affecting their pockets and their comfortable lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So now they want to stand up. You know what I'm saying? And now after the lady says what she says, you know, it's the media's job, like I say, to downplay, you know, what she says. And now the first two girls, the younger women are not the younger white girl and the black woman, they gonna be on the more positive side. But then they're gonna have the older, you know, lady devil. She gonna say, oh, you know, well, you know, like I said, she's gonna reinforce the bullshit that they tell her to say, which is, oh, you know, let's just reiterate that this is about safety and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Like the lady just expressed, this shit is not about safety. It's not about concern. If they was really concerned about somebody, like she said, why didn't they send people out there to stop the riots and all that when people were physically getting hurt? You know what I'm saying, out there? Why didn't they stop that shit? They didn't want to stop it because they want that shit to go on, because bitch-ass Cuomo is part of the deep state, and he's just allowing all of this shit to go on. And then he just knows he could just get on TV with his little so-called fancy suits and talk his little corny-ass speech and just tell the fucking New York all the bullshit he wants to tell them, and we be like, yeah, you heard what Cuomo said? And de Blasio's no different. All that nigga do is, like she said, why don't you come out here and talk to us? Because that's all they do, is come out and talk. You know what I'm saying? They don't never do shit. And then they always talk about how they got to wait for the federal government to do this, that, and third. So all that over the summer, all that bickering back and forth about him trying to act like he's so tough and challenging Trump and all of that shit. Nigga, at the end of the day, you still got to wait for Trump and them niggas to send you a fucking executive order for you to do anything. So shut your corny ass up, nigga. Stop trying to act like you got some kind of power. Like, oh yeah, I'm the man. I'm the governor of New York. We're not gonna take this, and we're gonna stand up as New Yorkers and blah blah blah. Nigga, shut up, nigga, because you ain't doing shit, and you just, you know, brainwashing the fucking people to just keep them strung along. And you know what too? Cuomo got used to these cameras. He got camera drunk over the summer. You know, all this COVID footage he been getting every day. He's on the camera talking and telling New York the numbers and the science, and yeah, and like he really thinks he's the man. You know what I'm saying? He wants to keep that shit. That's another thing too. We gotta realize ego. You know what I'm saying? ego. His ego is really affecting the whole lives of everybody in the city because he wants to be the man on TV and talk all this, yeah, scientists say, and we have to do this, and just stay in the house and keep wearing your mask and do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. And he wants to act like he's fucking Anthony Fauci or some shit. Nigga, you're not the director of the CDC. You're not the nigga to give us the health advice. And even the one that gave us the health advice gave us bullshit ass information anyway. But let me not digress and let me stick to the topic of the story. You know what I'm saying?
It's about dictatorship.
Yeah, let me bring back what this lady said one more time before I wrap this up. Because what she said was the most realest shit spoken, during this whole shit going on right now. As far as the businesses, what they do.
I think that this governor is using these men to do his dirty work. Where are you, Cuomo? Why don't you come out here and talk to us? Why don't you talk to us and let us talk to you? I can't wait till this guy is gone.
Word.
He didn't do anything about the rioting in New York City, but...
See, and part of stuff, and you know what another thing is too, and she's right, I can't wait till he's gone too, but you know what they're going to do? They're just going to put another asshole in there to just feed us some more bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And this is what happens every year, every 4 years, every 2 years, however long these elections go on and all that. They just, they recycle the same bullshit. And then when we get tired of him, we look for somebody else. And then they give us somebody else that sounds good, sounds better, says he's going to do this, says she's going to do that, blah, blah, blah. And then they come in, they sit in the seat of power, and they do the same bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And then they get camera drunk and so-called power drunk and ego drunk. And they just, become a dictator. Like she says, it's about dictatorship. You know what I mean? Because they don't really have real power, so they try to use the limited power that they do have to just really put even more limitations on the people. And they think that by them stressing restrictions and limitations, that's them somehow exercising power. But that's the only power that they have, is to give restrictions and so forth, because it's all about dictatorship and keeping people in bondage. So, you know what I mean? All they do is just be put in a position to misuse power. You know what I mean? And to keep the noose tight around our necks. That's all they do. So, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is it? What's a new governor gonna do? You know what I mean? But talk the same shit and do the same thing. You know what I mean?
He sends sheriffs at a small business to close them down? What is this all about, people? This is not about safety. It is not about concern. It is about dictatorship.
I think Debbie speaks for a lot of people on Staten Island who are really upset about what's happening to the small businesses there, not just that one.
Yeah, I think she speaks for a lot of people in general, actually. But I love that heavy New York accent and that feisty spirit.
Yeah, see, you heard that? See how the black woman, she was like, yeah, I like that feisty New York attitude, the feisty spirit and all of that, because she knows quite naturally that's what she has. The black woman has that naturally. And like I said, that's why they use the black woman during the 40s, 50s, 60s, during the so-called feminist, the white feminist movement. They use the black woman to join their movement and be their voice, because they know when the black woman speaks, people gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? So they use her to promote their movement and promote their agenda and so forth and so forth. But meanwhile, at the end of them fighting for equal rights as white women and all of that, because remember, the white woman felt like she was being denied rights from the white man. And it had nothing to do with black people or black women or, black people in general. But being that they use the black woman to voice their opinions and voice their issues for them, and then, got their so-called rights and all of that, when they got them, at the end, the black woman didn't get nothing. Because guess what? You was still black at the end of the day. And guess what? Black people don't got no rights in this country. Did you forget that? So you didn't get no rights as a black person in general, let alone as a woman. So all they did was use your voice and use your energy to get their rights and then put you right back in your slave status. You know what I'm saying? And then that made you feel like, well, I want what the white woman has. So let me join with her and leave the black struggle and leave the black man, leave the black family. Let me perm my hair. Let me put on this makeup. Let me get this job to, and act all coon and act like a slave to make these white people happy so I could work on this job and so-called feed my family. But what family? Where did that family come from? but you laying down with a black man and having those babies. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't do that with that black man, you wouldn't have those babies. So now why are you going to try to kick him out of your life because you want to go pursue a career in white society and basically be a sellout? You know what I'm saying? So fuck out of here with that bullshit. But anyway, this black woman, she's like, yeah, I like a feisty attitude and all of that, and now to downplay all of that, watch how the older white lady comes in and she tries to talk about all the safety bullshit and blah, blah, blah.
Not mince words.
No,
Let's
she did
point
not.
out, as Bob Hart was mentioning earlier, the fact that this is happening is because we are in the midst of a pandemic. It is a health crisis. That's why these rules exist. If we can hold on for a vaccine,
See, hold on for a vaccine, just like we hold on and waiting on Jesus, waiting on something. Always keep the people waiting. See, that's the whole wait and see program. You know what I'm saying? Wait and see, wait and see. Oh, let's wait. We just have to hold on and just hold on and just hold. Look at the lady's facial expression. Look at her facial expression. See the way she's looking at the lady? Like, man, get out of here. That's some bullshit. And they looking like, man, did you not just hear what the lady said? And did you not hear how happy we are as women to hear a woman speaking up and, speaking truth to power, you know what I'm saying? And then she goes to kill all of that whole spirit. She kills it with the safety regulations, this is about safety, and bitch, shut up. Because they just told you to say that, you know what I'm saying? And on top of that, too, don't get it twisted, they were also told to, shed the light on what the lady said as well, because they're running what's called the Hegelian dialectic. Now, do the knowledge to this, right? The Hegelian dialectic is where it's like a mental exercise where they'll display something, you know what I'm saying, that they know the people are gonna be in disagreement about. You know what I'm saying? So they'll display it one time, you know what I'm saying, to get you to disagree. And now, instead of them like playing the clip again, what they did was they used the reporters to give to finish up the Hegelian dialectic, which is to show something one time from one perspective, which they know is going to get like a type of reaction that's disagreeable, that's unfavorable. And then let the people speak on their disfavor. And then they show it again. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll show like a report, they'll show a clip. People be like, oh, like, for example, I learned about that on this Exposed DVD where they were showing how they was pushing the homosexuality stuff into the schools. And they were showing this stuff in school. And they showed a clip where, they were showing in school this whole, like, homosexual cartoon thing or whatever. And they were showing it to the kids. And now the people were speaking out against it, and then and then they showed it again. So it's like the mental, what that does to the mind is like, it shows you something that you disagree with. They allow you to speak your opinions, which they really don't give a fuck about, but they make you feel like you did something by speaking your opinion, just like they let you think you're doing something by voting, and then they have an electoral college and they vote over your vote, but they make you feel like you did something. So, they let you talk your disagreement, then they show the clip again to put it in your mind that even though you disagree, this is still what it is. And this is still what we're going to promote. And this is still, what's going to go on, even though you disagree. You know what I mean? So this is what they do with the whole science of that. So now, just like they showed the lady, she did the clip and she was like, yeah, what is this really about? And so forth and so forth. And then they had the ladies in this instance speak in favor of what the lady was saying, you know what I'm saying? Because like now, because in the instance, the lady spoke about something that was disfavorable to the people. So she already spoke the disfavor of the people. So now it's the reverse, or the reverse polarity of the two so-called good reporters to speak, in likeness of what she said. And then it's her duty, this one right here, it's her duty to, being the older one on the squad and her being, down with the program more so than these younger women who are just being prepped into, 5 years from now being like her, you know what I mean? she has to, keep the brainwashing going on. So she comes in and she's like, yeah, well, let's remember that this is about safety and blah, 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 blah. Like, man, didn't the lady just show and prove that it's not about safety? And then you got two opinions from two women, black and white, that are in agreement with what the lady said. And then here you go with your old pasty white ass to reinstill the white supremacy brainwash structure. Well, this is about safety and, and blah, 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 we have to keep the rules, blah, blah, blah. Fuck out of here, bitch. You know what I mean?
We're in a better place than we had been, but Debbie certainly speaking strongly.
See, now look at her face now. She's like, yeah, like, bitch, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, and she knows, you know what I'm saying? Because she knows, like, yeah, exactly. You know what the lady was, and then she tried to, and then also the older pasty white lady, she tried to make it seem like, oh, I'm going to throw it in the last word. Well, she was speaking strongly, though, in other words, to say, like, yeah, regardless of her speaking strongly, this is still what's in effect. These are the rules, and we have to follow the rules, and, blah, 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 and, and keep the whole, like I say, brainwashing shit in place. And then you see her make her face like, yeah, whatever, bitch, like, shut the fuck up. That shit you just said was some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And what me and the other lady just said was the real shit. But you have to say the bullshit. So, whatever. And like I said, being that she can't now speak against what the lady said, as far as get the last word. Well, actually, you heard what the lady said. I mean, honestly, I think that, really, it's not about the rules. I think they're really just trying to, suppress the people and just really be dictators. And, like, she can't really say that, even though she may want to say that. She can't say that because she has a job to keep and all of that, blah, blah, blah. And, certain things she can and can't say. So she can only speak through the only means that she has, which is body language. So look at her facial expression. Her facial expression, when somebody makes that face like that, and psychology tells you when a person looks off to the left, they're lying, or in reverse polarity of that, when somebody is lying to you, you will look off to the left like, man, get out of here, man, that's some bullshit. How people do with their eyes, like how she's doing right now, like, man, get out of here, that's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why you look off to the left is because, the left side of your brain deals with logic and reason. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a physical, neurological expression that you make that motion with your eyes. You know what I'm saying? And also, we also make that look, how we look up when we're thinking of something or we're trying to gather our thoughts, like we look up like, you know what I'm saying? Because like, it's just like an expression to show like you're trying to go into your mental Rolodex. You're trying to go into your brain and find something that you're searching for, you know what I'm saying? Rethink, to remember, you know what I'm saying? The word remember, to remember. To member, means to do again. So to remember means to reassemble, to put back together. You're trying to remember, you're trying to regather your thoughts. So yeah, that's the science of that right there. So anyway, you can see the facial expression of what this lady is doing to show you that she's not in agreement with the bullshit the lady just said. And that's her only way of, expressing that, because like I said, she can't get the last word and so forth. So, that's just a little lesson I wanted to just point out just for y'all to do the knowledge and be aware that silence is a language, body language is a language, you know what I'm saying? And you got to pay attention to all things. So even if somebody can't say something, they have a means of speaking. All right? And that also ties in today's mathematics, which is understanding. You know what I mean? And I just kind of gave y'all a vision of how I see things from my mind. You know what I mean? To just try to show you how, we use the third eye to see things for what they truly are, not for what they appear to be. You know what I mean? Because like I say, you heard what the lady said. She said, what is this really about, people? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it really about? Is it really about safety? Is it really about concern and, keeping people safe? Or are they trying to dictate people's lives? Are they trying to shut down all the businesses so that people are economically dependent on a loan from the government, which is going to put them in further debt? You know what I'm saying? It's monopoly, y'all. This is all monopoly right now. You know what I'm saying? And when the people go bankrupt, who are you going to borrow from? You borrow from the bank, right? So this is what they're doing. The government is breaking the bank right now. You know what I'm saying? They're breaking down all the businesses and fucking up everybody's money, and everybody's going to need a loan from the government because this government itself is collapsing, and they're actually in debt to China and Russia and a whole bunch of other people. And, you know, that's why the deep state is selling this country out. They're selling us out to China, communist China. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, we better wake the fuck up and understand what's going on with economics, with trade, with all of that. People hating on Trump, but they don't see what he was doing about making America a better exporter more so than an importer. You know what I mean? Because if America's making its own products and exporting, then they're keeping their own economy going and they're getting off the titty of China. You know what I mean? That's what he tried to do for this country. But at the same time, he's racist, so he doesn't understand economics. I mean, Donald Trump is not only one of the richest people in the world, he's not one of the most known businessmen. I mean, come on, like, motherfuckers here, business, the Trump Towers, all of that, they know Trump name. Trump is a fucking businessman. And half of the reason that's why people was feeling him at first. Before he first came, coming like, yeah, Trump is a gangster, Trump is a businessman, you know, I respect Trump, But then as soon as y'all was told that he was racist, then all of a sudden, oh, nobody likes Trump anymore, Trump is racist, oh, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But if you look back in Trump's history, just to point out a little something real fast, Trump has been surrounded by so-called African Americans throughout his career and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we talk about the Mike Tyson fights and all of that. Remember, Donald Trump was real instrumental in that whole promotion and all of that, you know, with the Trump Towers and all of that, and promoting the Tyson fights and all of that with Don King and everything. So Donald Trump played a part in Black history. If y'all, you know, do the knowledge to that, you know what I mean? All the Mike Tyson fights, and like Noriega pointed out on Drink Champs, you know, remember, you know, back in the days when Mike Tyson was out, man, you was from New York. And niggas knew you was from New York, the first thing they thought was Mike Tyson. Niggas ain't want to fuck with niggas from New York. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, niggas thought, like, that's Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't fuck with New York niggas. You know what I mean? So that gave, like, New York a whole self-esteem and a whole sense of pride and all of that. And who was instrumental in that? Donald J. Trump. Mr. Racist. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you know what I mean? Not to digress, sticking to the major topic of the story. So yeah, like I was saying, that lady's facial expression was really what made me jump up and really even do this whole thing right here, because I said, yeah, see, she's seen that shit with some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Usually, you know, the younger white woman would be in agreement with the older white woman, right? They're supposed to be on the same page, right? But no, she agreed with that black woman on this one because she knew that was some bullshit. And they both agreed with the other white woman that spoke the truth to power in the first place. You know what I mean? So that was reality, man. It's about the show in this matter, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's not about the black and white, but black and white does play a factor because, you know, like as I just pointed out, the factors and how they all play into the whole, play out of this news cast, you know, broadcast and all of that, you know, and how it affects the mind once we, you know, take it in our mind and all of that. You know what I mean? Peace to Angel Wings in the building. You know what I mean? Appreciate your attendance. You know, so and how it affects the mind and whatnot, then that's what we got to see. And that's the understanding that I want to, you know, bring out of that. Peace.